Bonsoir tout le monde. Good evening, everyone. We'll get our meeting started at 6 p.m. Roll call. Councillor Simard sent an email. She'll be running late this evening. Before we head to prayer national anthem, I'll ask that we suspend the rules of procedure, and instead of playing the prayer and the national anthem, that we play in honor of Jonathan Pitre. We play the video of Butterfly Child by Tara Shannon in honor of his memory, and also take a moment of silence for the Humboldt Bronco incident last weekend. We lowered the flags to half-mast last weekend in those two tragedies, but this is our first meeting of council since then, so I think we should take a moment. So I'll please ask everybody to stand, moment of silence, and then we'll play the video. Oh, yeah, I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Larrain, Councillor Saucier. Everybody okay with that? Perfect, thank you.
Straight on with courage and determination. You have a challenge, you need to face it whether you like it or not. You need to trust in yourself, and you have to believe in that. Then you can do it.
When the world says give up, I whisper one more try. When your heart says enough, I hang on inside. And all this weight can pull you down when you're fighting for your life. Butterfly child. On the edge it's hard to know how to leave the ground. Terrified of letting go, just don't look down. When the fear is closing in, I'm right there by your side. Butterfly child.
The thing that I fear most in surgeries is that mask. That's the oxygen mask that they put on you to make you go to sleep. I've had many surgeries in my life, and I've always been afraid of that mask. Just waking up in the morning with a smile on my face, knowing that as soon as I wake up, pain will hit me, and that as soon as I start moving, more pain will come. Oh no, now I have to start walking, and now I'll be in pain again. I heal a lot less quickly than people, and I'm expected to live until 25 years old. That's not a lot. If you think of it, I've spent already more than half my life. But those are just odds, and people have defied odds before, and I'm sure I'll be one of those.
Butterfly child. All it takes I'll carry you away from here. Spread your paper wings and fly. I can take you anywhere. I can take you anywhere. Spread your paper wings and fly. I'll carry you away from here. Spread your paper wings and fly. I can take you anywhere. So lift your eyes, see the endless sky and rise. Butterfly child, butterfly child.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you as well to Tara Shannon for allowing us to play that here this evening. Item 4, additions, deletions, or amendments. Item 17A for Councillor Saucier for Earth Day activities. Any other items to add this evening? No. Adoption of the agenda. I need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Conseiller Lorrain, seconded by Conseiller Brisson. All those in favor? All those opposed? Carried. Item 6, disclosure of pecuniary interest. I see none. 7, adoption of minutes, regular council minutes, April 3rd, 2018. I need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Conseiller Brisson, seconded by Conseiller Saucier. Questions, comments? All those in favor? All those opposed? Carried. Item 8, presentations, and 9, delegations. We have none. Item 10, consent item. Motion that all items listed under consent items be received as presented. Item A, proclamation and flag raising for Friends for Life for September 28th to October 31st. B, the minutes of the Parks and Recreation and Culture Advisory Committee from February 15th, 2017, April 19th, 2017, and January 21st, 2018. Item C, minutes of the Township of Russell Public Library Board, February 22nd, 2018. Item D, minutes of the Accessibility Advisory Committee, January 9th, 2018. Item E, minutes of the Joint Subcommittee for the Relocation of the Emblem Library Branch, March 1st, 2018. Item F, minutes of the Russell Historical Society, March 12th, 2018. Need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Councillor Saucier, seconded by Conseiller Lorrain. All those in favor? All those opposed? Carried. Item 11A, 2017 Financial Statement Presentation, Report FS 08 2018. That Council receives Report FS 08 2018 dated April 16, 2018, acknowledges receipt of the 2017 financial statement presented by Deloitte, our external auditors. Monsieur Leduc, Monsieur Godin, I believe we have our guest, Mr. Hoffman, this evening.
Yes, that's correct. Merci, Monsieur Maire. Chers conseil. So yeah, in the last couple of months, we've been going through our year-end process with Deloitte. And so sorry.
Give it
some background noise.
Yeah, just give it 1 second. I think we fixed. There we go.
Okay, so we've been going through our year-end process with Deloitte for the last couple of months. This was year 3 of our 3-year mandate with Deloitte, and everything went like the 2 previous years. Everything went pretty smoothly. So I'd like to thank Mr. Hoffman and his team for that. Donc, avec ça, je vais laisser la parole à M. Hoffman pour vous faire la présentation des états financiers qu'on vient de vous distribuer juste avant.
Parfait. Merci beaucoup, M. Godin. Bonsoir, M. Hoffman.
Bonsoir. En fait, on a 2 documents qu'on vous présente ce soir. Il y a les états financiers comme tels qu'on va vous lire immédiatement. On va vous donner un extrait. And we also have the council members report, which basically provides you the results of our audit as compared to the plan that was originally presented, if you recall, last January to council. So if I start with the extract of the financial statement, I'll bring your attention to, before the auditor's report, I'll bring to the attention to the numbers, starting with page 3, which presents you with the results of our operation for last year. Always on a comparative basis. Donc, lorsqu'on regarde les résultats financiers, là, à la page 3, on vous présente les résultats d'opération, les résultats qui nous intéressent. Cette année, ce sont les résultats 2017, toujours présentés sur base comparative avec le budget 2017 et le réel 2016. Fait à noter, cette année, pour la première année, le Conseil, dans les chiffres du budget, on a aussi rajouté les chiffres d'amortissement que normalement on ne vous présentait pas, là, parce que au niveau du comparatif, là, ça paraissait boiteux, puis maintenant c'est permis de le faire. So for last year, if you look at the results, in terms of taxation for the municipality, we ended up at $24,881,000 for taxation, of which $13,857,000 was for county and school board purpose. So this left for the municipality for its own operation, $11,024,000. To this amount, we had the user fees of $11,263,000. The deferred revenue recognized of $98,000. Development charge recognized in the last year was $7,318,000. Transfer payment from the federal, $1,383,000. From the province of Ontario, $1,637,000. From other charge to other municipality, $535,000. And finally, sale of land, $150,000. And other different source of revenue for $489,000. Peut-être une chose à noter au niveau des revenus, on peut voir Development Charge, on a 5,317,000 quand même très appréciable en termes de changement. La raison principale, c'est comme vous vous rappelez, le Conseil a opté pour utiliser ces frais des Development Charge pour financer les projets de nature capitale. Donc, on a reconnu une grosse portion. Entre autres, certains Development Charge ont été reconnus d'avance dans l'année courante pour financer des projets de nature capitale qui étaient non financés. Donc, c'est un peu l'impact majeur qu'on peut voir là, en termes de variation de chiffres. Par la suite, il y a nécessairement vos projets, les subventions rattachées aux projets d'eau dans le parc industriel, et ainsi de suite, qui viennent donner un impact au niveau des subventions, autant au niveau des subventions fédérales que provinciales. Là. Donc, c'est les principales variations au niveau des revenus. Yeah. Oui.
Oui, question, M. Brisson?
Donc, le 7 millions pour le Development Charge, c'est qu'est-ce qu'on était en réserve, que là, qu'on a été chercher pour le mettre dans l'opérationnel, c'est ça?
Peut-être pour suffire qu'on est sur le sujet, là, je vais vous ramener à la page 13. Je fais voyager un peu. Là. So if you go to page 13, we present you with a summary of the use of those development charge. So basically, if you look from the balance that you had at the beginning of the year, you had set aside $3.8 million. If you look at page 13, note 9. And if you look in the middle, the balance that we had in terms of development charge at the beginning of the year were at $3,859,000. You have it?
Right.
Okay. So of that amount, during the year, you also received $1,991,000. So these are new development charge received during the year, of which you use $7,318,000. Actually, you use more than you actually had set aside. So you're left about a year's worth of development charge in front of you that you already use. So we're recognizing there's a receivable from the development charge of $1,456,000 at the end of the year.
Which essentially in 2018 will cover off
Yeah.
the offset.
Exactly. And this is, I think, was presented at council in terms of part in February.
Parfait.
C'est bon, là, ça va?
Oui,
Ouais.
merci.
Côté dépenses, si on regarde au niveau des dépenses, il faut toujours faire noter, c'est toujours sur base combinée. Hein, c'est consolidé, donc on parle des dépenses du fonds revenu, fonds capital et les transferts réserves, fonds réserves. Donc pour le dernier exercice, en termes de dépenses ou d'investissement total fait par la municipalité, on parle de 23 993 000. On avait prévu 24 072. Donc quand même, à l'intérieur de ce qui avait été prévu au budget. So if we look at each of the items, starting with general government, you had 2.1 million. Protection to person and property at 4.5. Transportation services, 5,030,000. Environmental services at 7.6 million. Recreation and cultural services at 3 million, almost 0.1. Child Care Services, 769, and finally, Planning and Development, 860,000. So in the last year, when we say annual surplus, actually it's the term they use, but actually it's not a surplus. It's an actual increase in resource that the municipality, either the capital asset, because you had quite a few projects in terms of capital projects. So you actually increase your equity by 9.9 million, bringing it from 112 million to 122 million. And for more detail, again, I'll make you travel a bit. I'll bring you to page 18, which provides you a summary of that equity that is actually owned by the township at the end of the year. Donc, on commence avec les réserves et le détail de ces réserves-là. On a premièrement les réserves en termes de remplacement des immobilisations corporelles que vous avez mis de côté pour d'autres projets de nature capitale que vous pourriez avoir dans le futur. Vous avez tout ça à la page 18, notre cédule 2. Je vois qu'il y en a qui travaillent ça. Excusez, j'ai peut-être utilisé la page 18. Notre schedule 2. Oui, on est là. Fait donc, au niveau des remplacements des immobilisations, quand on a mis de côté, on a 953 326 à la fin de l'exercice. Donc, cette réserve-là, elle a diminué un peu. On l'a utilisée en partie. Au niveau de la réserve pour fonds de roulement, qui est en fait permet à la municipalité de s'autofinancer au niveau de supporter ses taxes à recevoir, et ainsi de suite. On n'a pas eu de changement. On est à 1 398 000. Pour les autres projets de nature capitale et les projets spécifiques, on a 1 874 000. Dans ce cas-là, on a augmenté nos ressources à ce niveau-là. Puis tantôt, je vais vous expliquer pourquoi. De côté des fermetures du dépotoir, on a utilisé une grande partie dans l'exercice, comme vous savez. Donc, on est à 59 000 en fin d'exercice. Pour les acquisitions de mobilisation corporelle, on était à 728 000. Now, for the reserve fund, set aside reserve fund, this is actual cash in a bank account separately that is set aside. 176,000 for the Public Library Board. For the police village, well, this is actually, it's stated as a reserve fund, but this is a complete different entity where they invest those money. This was a result of the sale of the former hydro Embrun. So 949,000. Waterworks were 1,355,000. This is for general investment. And then the tangible capital asset was at 3,161,000. Also, you had sewer at 588. And again, for capital project, 643 for sewer. And Embrun specifically, 113,000. So in terms of total reserve and reserve funds set aside, you went from 9,646,000 to 12,002,000. À ça, on rajoute les montants. Comme vous savez, vous avez une banque de terrain qui vous permet de faire du développement et à revendre. En fin d'exercice, le sol au coût, ce n'est pas la valeur marchande, mais bien au coût. Vous étiez à 468 217. On en a vendu un en particulier dans le dernier exercice, là, pour l'équivalent d'environ 150 000. Investir en mobilisation, on avait, c'est la principale, donc c'est la principale à avoir de la municipalité. Vous avez 117 millions d'actifs, qui comprend vos chemins, vos égouts, ainsi de suite, puis c'est moi, les meubles, les camions, ainsi de suite. On a le détail de ça tantôt. De ce montant-là, il y en a seulement 5 092 qui n'est pas financé de façon permanente. Au niveau des opérations, 116 000. Et au niveau des intérêts courus, 200 370. Ça, c'est les intérêts qui sont courus entre la date du dernier versement et la fin de l'exercice. There's no requirement from the ministry to actually finance those amounts because they're not actually required to be paid, so it's on a cash basis. And finally, you have a finance portion of the landfill site closure at 1,295,000 at the end of the year. Maintenant, comme vous savez, dans l'exercice, la municipalité aurait terminé, mais on aurait aussi présenté un surplus d'opération. C'est ça que la note fait référence en bas de la page. Là, on a un surplus d'opération de 401 000. Mais suite à des résolutions du Conseil, vous avez pris ces sommes-là, vous avez mis de côté. Si je ne me trompe pas, on avait la garderie, on a environ pour 130 000. On a la bibliothèque pour 30 quelques mille. Ainsi de suite. Le haut égout aussi. Fait qu'on a mis des sommes que suite aux décisions du Conseil, vous avez mis de côté une partie de surplus, le surplus 2017, qui était le surplus d'opération. Donc, de façon rapide, lorsqu'on regarde les résultats d'opération, premièrement, la municipalité a fonctionné à l'intérieur de ses moyens, est en mesure de réaliser un surplus, de mettre ça de côté, et augmenter ses réserves, fonds réserves. Donc, je pense que de façon globale, on s'est amélioré, notre position dans le dernier exercice.
C'est une bonne année.
Oui, en termes de résultats financiers. Maintenant, je vous rapporte à la page 3. Qui vous présentait le surplus ou l'avoir à 122 millions. Et maintenant, on vous le réexplique, cet avoir-là, comment est-ce qu'on le présente à la page 4, qui est un portrait de la municipalité en date du 31 décembre. So as of December 31st, this was a picture for the Township of Russell. And this is again on a combined basis, which represents all of your capital fund, revenue fund, and a reserve fund. So total cash, you had set aside 3.5 million, almost 3.5 million. Tax receivable, actually, there was an improvement, which is, this is a rare case lately in the last few years, but actually, municipality actually improved its position in terms of tax receivable. Went down from 1,920,000 to 1,816,000. Water and sewer charge that still is to be receivable as of December 31st, we're at 1,228,000. Regular accounts receivable, we're at 3,538,000. Why the increase? Basically because of some grants that are to be received. Unearned revenue, and like I mentioned earlier, now it's a receivable because you spent a bit of it, so we intend to finance it in 2018, so we intend to receive that amount next year. Other current asset, 94,000, and finally, investment, which is basically the amount of money set aside by the police village, 943,000 we saw earlier. Au niveau des passifs, on avait des créditeurs et charges à payer de 6 340 000. Encore une fois, pourquoi l'augmentation importante? C'est tout simplement que vous avez plusieurs projets de nature capitale en date de démarcation de fin d'exercice. Donc, c'est principalement pour cette raison-là. Même raison au niveau des recevables qu'on a vu tantôt. Au niveau des autres passifs, on était à 524 000. On avait aussi des intérêts courus, tantôt on y faisait référence. Entre la dernière date de versement et la fin de l'exercice, on avait pour 200 000. Le passif rattaché aux bénéfices aux employés, ça c'est le passif que ça coûterait à la municipalité, advenant que l'ensemble des employés auraient quitté le 31 décembre. On doit reconnaître ce passif-là maintenant. On est à 242 373, donc c'est un passif qui se renouvelle à chaque année. On maintient la continuité des opérations de la municipalité. Au niveau des revenus reportés, on avait 237 070. Cette année, comme je mentionnais, on est recevable, on n'a pas impayable au niveau des redevances d'aménagement. Et finalement, la dette de la municipalité à 17 millions qui finance en partie le 122 ou le 134 millions d'actifs de la municipalité qu'elle détient. So in a nutshell, this is basically the picture for the Township of Russell in the last year. And then I don't intend to go through each and every note because each and every year we seem to add in terms of, so if you had the chance to read it, you're welcome. But if you have any, or probably had the chance to read it, so if there's any question, go ahead, now's the time.
Y a-t-il des questions des membres du conseil? Non? On est correct, M. Hoffman.
Okay, so, which brings me to, before the actual auditor's report, to my report I was referring to. On a présenté notre plan en janvier aux membres du conseil. On est en mesure de maintenir la même approche qu'on vous avait présentée. On n'a pas découvert d'éléments qui feraient en sorte on serait préoccupé en ce qui concerne la sauvegarde des actifs de la municipalité. Donc, on est en mesure de maintenir le même programme au niveau de la vérification. Puis les résultats obtenus ont été satisfaisants, ont été en fait concluants. Il y a certains éléments qu'on va, there's a few items we'll bring to management, and basically those items that bring management is simply in a process of continuous improvement and nothing that is actually a risk for the municipality. We see best practices within other municipalities, and we convey the message to management and say, well, if we could do it this way instead, and this is in a working process. Donc, on n'avait pas d'éléments de recommandation qui ferait en sorte qu'on serait préoccupé pour les membres du conseil qu'on a à vous présenter. Mais oui, avec la direction, on travaille toujours dans un processus d'amélioration continue, là, de trouver des moyens pour améliorer le processus. En fait, on a fait des grands pas dans les derniers exercices au niveau de la qualité de l'information. On est sur la bonne voie, définitivement. Donc, rapidement, encore une fois, je ne vous ferai pas la lecture de ce rapport-là. So I won't read this report. I'll give you a chance just to read it, but if you have any question, it's
Parfait.
open.
Merci, M. Hoffman. Question, membres du conseil, anything else to add? Non, c'était l'information très détaillée, comme d'habitude. Merci beaucoup. J'aimerais féliciter M. Godin, toi et ton équipe. Vous avez travaillé très fort, certain. Puis je pense que à chaque année, on a un rapport, puis ça nous donne beaucoup d'informations, mais c'est de l'information que les membres de conseil ont besoin à comprendre. Puis je te remercie. M. Godin, quelque chose à ajouter?
Oui, merci, M. le maire. Donc, c'est ça. Premièrement, je remercie M. Hoffman de s'être déplacé aujourd'hui, mais aussi un gros merci à toute son équipe. C'est très agréable de travailler avec eux. Puis, surtout, je veux aussi souligner le travail de notre équipe de la finance. La fin d'année financière, c'est sûr que c'est une grosse partie de notre travail. Puis, on a eu une certaine restructuration cette année, il y a eu des nouveaux postes qui ont été créés, des choses comme ça. Puis, au travers de tout ça, ils ont quand même travaillé très fort, puis je suis bien content du résultat de l'audit.
Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup, M. Hoffman. We'll move on to the next item. Item B, 2017 final financial report FS09 2018. The Council receives report FS09 2018 dated April 16, 2018, and acknowledges receipt of the final financial report for 2017. Questions, comments? Councillor? No? We're not there yet. Questions, comments, members of council? Anything to add, Monsieur Godin? You want to go through the financial report, or council had an opportunity to read all the schedules, the operationals, and that kind of stuff?
Oui, merci, M. le maire. Donc, en fait, vous avez eu la chance de voir. Si vous avez des questions, je suis content de les répondre. Essentiellement, c'est les résultats qui viennent de présenter les résultats financiers, mais du langage, du budget. Donc,
Oui.
you're more used to seeing it. So if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Parfait. Questions, commentaires? Je pense pas. On est correct. Merci. We'll move on to the next item, item C. Summary of sponsorship, advertising, and donations for 2017, report FS 10-2018. The council receives report FS 10-2018 dated April 16, 2018 for information purposes. Questions, comments, members of council? I think it's pretty straightforward as to what we received this year. Anything to add from the administration? No? We'll move on to the next item. Item D, summary of purchases awarded over $25,000, report FS 11-2018. The council receives report FS 11-2018 dated April 16, 2018 for information purposes. Questions, comments, members of council? No? Anything to add from the administration? No? We'll move on. Item E, grant applications report, 2017 Q4 report FS 12-2018. That council receives report FS 12-2018 dated April 16, 2018 for information purposes. Questions, comments, members of council? No? Anything to add from the administration? No? We'll move on to the next one. Item F, Sports Dome Construction Financial Report, report FS 13-2018. That council receives report FS 13-2018 dated April 16, 2018 for information purposes. Questions, comments, members of council? No? Anything to add from the administration? Monsieur Leduc?
Monsieur le maire, membres du conseil, good evening. Yes, finally we present to council this report. There might be some small expenses to be incurred before we're fully finished, but certainly we'll get more revenues also, maybe from the Kin Club contributions from then, so it should be probably equal to whatever we get in revenues regarding expenses. As you see, we try to give you comparisons that were apples to apples, which were a section of the report was showing you what we present to you back in February as 4.8 million, and now we're showing it as 4.7 million. So basically, that's where we were regarding the apples to apples, and there were costs incurred previous to the construction projects, about $80,000, and then there was some other expenses like building permits and also some staff time charges. So those were not presented initially in the initial report. So I think the department and all the departments contributed to this project and to financial results of this project. So we're quite happy to present this to council.
Thank you very much, Monsieur Leduc. I know essentially we're looking at 4.898 million, and we finished around the 4.907. $10,000 difference on almost a $5 million project, I think is quite reasonable. I thank you very much to the team of all the departments working together on this project. You know, we know we have a future rec complex coming, and I think this was a good dry run as to how the departments can work together. And you know, there's ups and downs in any project, but moving forward, I'm sure that we'll be able to improve on everything that was done. I've heard nothing but compliments in regards to this facility, and I think on behalf of myself, and I'm sure I can speak on behalf of council members, we're extremely happy with the turnout that the community has approached this project, and thank you very much for staying pretty much on budget. So thank you. Quelque chose d'autre, membres du conseil? No? Okay. Move on to the next item. Item G, pay list March 2018. The council receives the pay list for the month of March 2018. Questions, comments on the pay list? No? Anything to add from the administration? No? Move on to the next item. Item H, maintenance on Marshall Seguin Municipal Drain, report ISPW 04-2018. That council approves the proposed bylaw to authorize the carrying out of the maintenance of the Marshall Seguin Municipal Drain. Questions, comments, members of council? No, we have the report all weekend. Pretty self-explanatory. Anything to add from the administration? We're fine, Monsieur Bourgon? Thank you. We'll move on to item I, user fees correction for Sports Dome report PR 11-2018. That council receives report PR 11-2018 dated April 16, 2018, and approves the recommendations of the department by adopting the proposed bylaw to amend Schedule 9, or Schedule A9, Parks and Recreation user fees, the user fees and charges bylaw 2017-099. Questions, comments, members of council? Anything to add from the administration? No? We'll move on. Item J, restricted acts of council, lame duck period, report CAO 06-2018. The council receives report CAO 06-2018 dated April 16, 2018, and approves the proposed bylaw for the delegation of authority to the chief administrative officer in the event council enters a restricted position, also called a lame duck period, pursuant to section 275 of the Municipal Act 2001. Questions, comments, members of council? No. Conseiller Lorrain?
Yeah, do we know when the earliest that could happen? Is that the July 27th date?
Monsieur Leduc?
Mr. Mayor, yes, that's correct.
We're looking at two separate possible periods from July 27th to October 22nd, and then from October 22nd to November 30th, the period after the election and the period leading up to the election.
What's the November 3rd? Is that when inauguration will be?
November 30th.
November 30th.
So December 1st would be the, Monsieur Leduc?
Yeah, that's correct for this election. Only as of starting 2022, that's when the term of council will start on November 15th.
Okay.
But this is last term and ends on November 30th.
D'autres questions, commentaires? Quelque chose d'autre à ajouter, Monsieur Leduc? No? Okay. Move on. Item K, Community Grants Report PR 12-2018. The council receives report PR 12-2018 dated April 16, 2018, and approves the following departments' recommendations for community grant donations in 2018 to the following groups. 1, to approve an in-kind grant in the amount of $1,156 to the King Club of Russell to cover the cost of the Emblem Community Center for the Sports Dome Recognition Gala on May 5, 2018. 2, to approve an ad hoc grant for $1,300 to the King Club of Russell for the Sports Dome opening ceremony on May 5, 2018. According to the Community Grants and Contribution Guidelines, these requests meet our requirements for funding. Questions, comments, members of council? Conseiller Lorrain?
Yeah, for the first item, is that something that we are invited to? Do we have to buy tickets to as members of council? Like, well, how's that one working?
Monsieur Leduc, Madame Guittard?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members and council. It will be under invitation from the Kin Club,
So
and members of council will be invited. There's still some details to be finalized, but for sure the council will be invited.
Okay.
So they want to recognize volunteers and
People that were involved
Yeah.
in getting the project
Yeah.
off the ground.
So they're finalizing who will be invited in accordance with township administration also.
Do we have a time on that, for that evening? I just want to make sure I get it in my calendar then.
I believe it's an evening event.
Yeah, it's an
whether
evening event. I think, I'm not sure, they haven't sent me the time yet for that. I could double check and send that to you tomorrow if you want.
Okay, it's just that it's what, 3 weeks away?
Yep.
So,
Okay,
it's getting close.
not a problem.
And then the second item?
Yep.
Do we know what the 1,300 is for?
Madame Guitar?
Yes, it's to help them with the purchase of the food that they'll be serving outside, because they're gonna be a big barbecue, some pop and hot dogs and cake and prizes for the kids.
So that's at the official opening?
That's the official opening in the afternoon, because the Kin Club will be hosting the afternoon and Township will be hosting the whole morning. So we've shared the day.
With
so-
us paying 1,300, aren't we essentially paying for the whole day?
Basically, but I think the fact is, in the afternoon, they'll be staffing and working it and serving the food as
Yeah,
opposed
and
to
they're
us doing it.
organizing activities and.
Okay.
D'autres questions, commentaires? Non? Quelque chose d'autre à ajouter de l'administration? No? Move on to the next item. Item L, 2018 municipal elections, use of municipal resources policy, report CL 04-2018. The council receives report CL 04-2018 dated April 16, 2018, and approves the proposed bylaw for the use of municipal resources policy. Questions, comments, members of council? Conseiller Brisson?
I just believe that we'll have some form to sign, if I did so properly.
Monsieur Leduc, Madame Camelet-Laflamme?
Yes, good evening, council members. So the last page of the policy is the page that I will ask council members to sign, and I will sign as well,
Parfait.
if this is adopted tonight.
Quelque chose d'autre, l'administration, à ajouter? Non? Monsieur Leduc?
Mr. Mayor, members of council, this is just to make the rules clear before we start. Donc, on va être définitivement vraiment transparent sur nos limitations, ce que le personnel va pouvoir faire et pas faire, ce que vous pouvez utiliser et pas utiliser. Donc, je pense que c'est de bonne guerre de savoir au départ what are the rules to follow, so that we all know what game we're playing from now to December 1st.
Everybody on the same page.
Yes.
Perfect. Quelque chose d'autre des membres du conseil? No? Okay, we'll move on to the next items then. Item 12, notice motions, we have none. Item 13, question period on meeting of the day. Standard process, name and address for the record, please.
Charles Armstrong, 85 Castle in Embrun. My question concerns the Sports Dome costs. First, I do not believe, but can you confirm to me that these costs do not include the actual land acquisition, land servicing, etc. costs up front, just the actual dome and the building attached?
Monsieur Leduc, Monsieur Godin.
Yes, that's correct.
Will we have a report for the total cost of the project from land acquisition through to commissioning?
Monsieur Leduc, land acquisition was before my time, I believe.
Well, land acquisition dates way back when the municipality got this property. It was supposed for the rec complex.
2007, I think it was.
So this is how that's far back it goes. We had some expenses, but certainly the sale of land to Valoris had paid a lot of the expenses for the dome. So that's basically how things were covered off.
Okay.
There were some engineering costs which were showing at $80,000 initially before the project started. So those are the costs there.
Okay, thank you.
But regardless, in good project management, it starts from land acquisition through to commissioning. And even if the costs were incurred sometime in the distant past, is it not proper project management to include those costs in the cost of the entire project?
If that's the case, then that should be the case for any project we do. You know, we bought the land in the 417, 20, 30, 40 years ago? You know, I don't know if that's standard practice or not, but Monsieur Leduc,
Well, the same thing, we could add all staff time, everybody's staff time on this project, so it wouldn't be very expensive. So it depends where we stop, where we start. Obviously, if council would like to see that number, then we're showing a number that's way higher than 4.9. Like every other project where we put our dimes in, our time in, we don't charge everything in there. So to be a fairer comparison, but certainly our financial statements do reflect in the past we've purchased those properties, and we still have those as an asset. So I think they are part of our financial statements.
They've been it's been presented the way we've always presented projects of such nature, I believe. C'est standard. Monsieur Godin, comment on le présente?
Oui, Monsieur le Maire, on le présentait pareil comme qu'on présente tous les autres projets.
Okay, parfait. So unless council gives different direction, I'm fine with the way it was presented. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Item 14, resolutions. Motion that council approve all recommendations listed on the agenda under item number 11, reports from departments and council committees. Need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Conseiller Brisson, seconded by Conseiller Lorrain. All those in favor? All those opposed? Carried. Item 15, bylaws. Motion that council approve bylaws 2018-049 to 2018-052 inclusively for first, second, and third reading as listed on the agenda. Need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Conseiller Lorrain, seconded by Conseiller Brisson. Questions, comments? All those in favor? All those opposed? Carried. Item 16, new business reports. We have none. Item 17, 17A, Earth Day activities, Councillor Saucier.
I just wanted to let everyone know about a few upcoming events. Curbside Exchange Day, which is April 21st. Large item pickup, which is the week of April 23rd. So one item is allowed to be put at the curb. Again, Earth Day is April 22nd, and we're also organizing a clean sweep. This Saturday, Home Hardware is hosting e-waste day. By the Scouts are putting it on, so people can take their e-waste to the Home Hardware parking lot. And Hazardous Waste Day is May 5th, and we'll be there at the garage at Route 300 to collect the hazardous products such as paints and batteries and what have you. And I know that's the same day as the opening of the Dome, but we will have people there. We'll go to the Dome really quickly, and then I'll be back at the garage. And just say, it wasn't part of the Earth Day, but I do want to just remind everyone that RAPA is having their opening night this Wednesday. Ella's Lounge Rock Opera, original screenplay and original score by your local neighbors, including Vicky Charbonneau, who used to be with Le Reflet. She's got one of the lead singing roles, so hopefully we'll see some of you there. And I'll be doing a presentation to RAPA on Wednesday at their gala.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Councillor Saucier. Conseiller Lorrain?
Yeah, just a question on the e-waste with the Scouts at in the Home Hardware. Was that not this past weekend, or are they doing 2 weekends in a row?
It's April 21st that they advertised.
Okay, because I know they were out there on the weekend because we drove by and we're going to bring something.
Okay. Well,
So-
maybe people can confirm. I'm sure they have a Facebook page, and we'll be able to.
That's where I got the information.
Okay, perfect. Could be there was 2 organizations doing it as well.
Well, I remember seeing the Scouts logo out.
Okay.
So
Yeah, quite possible they have 2 weekends in a row. All right. We'll move on to item 18, public meetings and hearings. We have none. Item 19, closed session. We have none. Item 20, confirming bylaw. That bylaw 2018-053 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the Council of Corporation Township of Russell, its regular council meeting held on April 16, 2018. Be read a first, second, and third time and passed. Moved by Conseiller Brisson, seconded by Conseiller Lorrain. All those in favor? All those opposed? Carried. Next meeting, we have a special public meeting of council will be held on Thursday, April 19, 2018 at 6:30 p.m. And then the next regular public meeting of council will be held on Monday, May 7th, 2018. Thank you very much, everyone. We're adjourned at 6:45 p.m. Oh, Monsieur Leduc. Something to add?
Monsieur le maire, est-ce qu'on voulait parler un peu de la journée d'aujourd'hui, puis un wrap-up ou un peu d'information publique?
Oui, définitivement. Oui. So just a wrap up on what's going on right now in the township. Essentially, we've had, everybody is aware that the power went off late last night in a lot of areas. We have decided, we met twice, the community control group met twice today, discussed the options. So there is a warming center that will be open, that's open at the Russell Fire Station. And the Emblem Community Station will be an emergency shelter, will be open. We'll have some cots available if people wish to stay the night. We're limited as far as how many cots are available, that kind of stuff. So we're encouraging people to reach out to families, friends, neighbors if they need help with generators, that kind of stuff. If they need a place to stay, if that's at all possible. And we're taking the proper steps to ensure whatever we can do for our citizens. I know that at part of Emblem, those connected with Emblem Hydro have received their power back on. We know a section of Saint-André is closed off, which sees, I think there was 15 or 20 poles that went down, and which is essentially a main line coming in from the Winchester area. So we have good sections of Russell and good sections of Emblem. They're still out of power. So that's currently where we are at. There's information available on our website, on our social media pages. If there's anybody who has any concerns, they can reach out to the municipality, 443-3066, extension 8. And c'est pas mal ça où qu'on est. I don't know, Monsieur Leduc?
Also, maybe you could put that we're meeting again, the CCG.
CCG.
A meeting tomorrow morning at 9.
Yes.
So again, to assess the situation, determine how long we extend the
shelter.
shelters available for tomorrow.
We're lucky at this point that we're not in freezing territory. We're essentially floating around 1 or 2 degrees, which is a little chilly. It can get in the house, but it's manageable. I think, 20 years ago, it was a lot more serious. Didn't necessarily have social media out there 20 years ago. Je suis fier de voir que du monde, ces médias sociaux qui ont commencé à offrir leur maison pour une place à rester, offrir des génératrices pour aider à leurs voisins. So yeah, out on social media, we've already seen them start sharing information and offering help. So that's a nice thing to see. So we'll keep everybody informed as much as possible. We encourage people to charge their electronic devices because that's actually one of the things that's keeping us communicated. So thank you very much, everyone. If they have any questions, then they can reach out to the township, most definitely. Monsieur Leduc?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to thank staff also for some of us have, not me myself personally, but some of us were up early this morning attending different sites and answering the phones. So I appreciate that, and to their teams who've been out there in the rain or waiting out there for someone to pass by or respond to a lot of questions. So I thank them for their work and availability. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Monsieur Leduc. I think I'd like to point out as well is that this isn't a major catastrophe by any means, but it does provide an opportunity to put our training to use. We train twice a year. We train for emergency situations, and bringing the CCG group together in this type of situation gives us a good practice run for hopefully nothing serious to come, but at least we know how the process works and how we move through the steps. So thank you very much, and thank you very much, Madame Bourdeau and all your staff for putting everything together. Thank you. Conseiller Brisson.
Juste une question, parce que mon commentaire aussi, le dôme, j'ai su comme quoi qu'il était fermé à cause qu'il y a eu du dommage. La section des douches, est-ce que c'est ouvert ou si c'est tout fermé au complet? Tout est fermé?
Tout, je crois, Madame Guittard, tout le dôme au complet, il est fermé à ce point-ci?
Merci, Monsieur le maire. Oui, membre du conseil, oui. Quand un édifice n'a pas d'électricité, on n'est pas censé laisser le public à l'intérieur.
Parfait. Merci beaucoup.
Planifié de le rouvrir demain, c'est ça?
Demain à midi, je pense que j'ai vu, c'est...
Demain midi.
Demain midi. So, si tout va bien, demain midi, le dôme devrait être réouvert. OK?
Juste une question avec... Mais quand il marche sur la génératrice, ça veut-tu dire qu'on n'a pas le droit d'avoir de monde dedans? ou si la génératrice remplace
Monsieur Leduc, Madame Guittard.
pour
Merci.
d'autres situations.
Merci,
ça va
Monsieur le maire. La génératrice qu'on a au dôme, c'est une génératrice seulement pour fournir le ballon, pour que le ballon reste
Gonflé.
gonflé. C'est pas la même genre de génératrice qu'on a là, pour le centre communautaire.
OK.
Mais c'est le même genre, mais c'est pas assez de power là, pour tout l'édifice.
C'est spécifiquement pour garder la
C'est
bulle
spécifiquement pour
gonflée.
garder le ballon gonflé.
Parfait. D'autres questions, commentaires? Non? We're adjourned at 6:51 p.m. Merci beaucoup tout le monde. Thank you very much.